No, that title is not me trolling. Luis Severino, who was an all-star for the Yankees, actually called out his former team, and he straight up mocked them. Staying with guys and former teams, Kenley Jansen, he took on the Dodgers in LA. That game was absolutely wild. The Rays, they have a brand new ace in Taj Bradley, and the kid is putting up Paul Skeens-type numbers, and Corbin Carroll, he's finally looking like Corbin Carroll lately. So we're going to talk about all of that and more in today's MLB Recap, and just a quick reminder, if you're going to any baseball games or concerts anytime soon, save yourself 20 bucks off on SeatGeek using code Fuzzy. So before we show any other game, I got a question for you guys. How is this man not an all-star? Brent Rooker, he's got 22 home runs, 65 RBIs, a 172 OPS plus. Also, a secondary question. Are the A's gonna trade Brent Rooker? He's raking, and he also has 3 more years left of control, so a playoff team would have to give up a fat haul in order to get a guy like Brent Rooker or Mason Miller, because again, they're both under team control for a long time. The A's got another run on a bases out of walk. Lawrence Butler, his arrival has been so much fun to watch, and he's been the best player, if you're not named Trey Turner, in the month of July. He has 10 extra base hits, 22 RBIs, a 370 batting average in 12 starts this July. The A's, they went 8-2 after Miguel Andujar brought in their final run. They've scored 39 runs over their last 3 games. Oh, here we go, the battle for sole possession of first place in the AL West. They're both tied, the Mariners and the Astros. Again, they're tied for first place. George Kirby, he's on the bump. Jeremy Pena's speed was just a little bit too quick, so he beats out the throw for an RBI chopper. Framber, he towed the rubber for the Astros, so ace versus ace. J-Rod, he made contact, and then he stopped to admire it. Rarely do you see J-Rod not just flat out happy. He didn't look happy. He looked fired up. Like, that's an intense J-Rod right there. George Kirby, he did a fantastic job to limit the damage. 6 innings, just the 1 run, but Ryan Stanek, he ruined it. Not really, though. I don't know if that's fair, because Jake Myers, he did exactly what he needed to do. He stung an outside fastball the other way for a go-ahead 2-run Oppo Taco. Jake's 11th home run of the year is as clutch as it gets. Yainer Diaz, he gave Josh Hader an insurance run, but also before we show Josh Hader, I do have to show off Trey Cabbage. He stole J-Rod's 2nd home run of the game. He hit him with a no-fly zone celebration, and Joey Loperfido, my goodness, how far did he run? Presley, he got saved twice by his outfielders. Josh Hader, he had a ball 4 pitch violation, so he's not happy. Luke Raley, he's now the tying run, but yeah, Luke Raley, he swung through it. Book it. The Astros, they're your division king yet again. This Red Sox and Dodgers game was a wild one, so we're going to start off with Gavin Lux. He had his best game in weeks, maybe months. He popped off for a solo home run. He also doubled and walked, so he got on 3 times. Jarren Duran, he will not stop hitting extra base hits. His 50th extra base hit of the year, drives in 1, and then a second scores on an error. So you got 1 All-Star Weekend star doing his thing, and here's another. The Home Run Derby champion, Teoscar Hernandez, he delivers the tie at 2. Now, the Dodgers actually took the lead on a Pahe sac fly, but check this out. James Outman with the Spider-Man catch. He did not care about his well-being at all. He makes the grab, and he robs Rev Schneider of at least a double, and no one's robbing this one. Jarren, he got on for Tyler O'Neill, and Tyler did not miss it. That's his 17th home run. The Red Sox, they're up by 1. Jansen, he hasn't allowed a home run all year. Well, there goes the streak. His teammate twice over tagged him. Enrique, they were teammates back when they were both on the Dodgers, then on the Red Sox. Hernandez is trying to forget his dreadful first half, and Tyler O'Neill, he's trying to continue his breakout and bounce back first half. He's up to 18 home runs and a 137 OPS plus. Boston, they're yet again in line to take it, but not so fast as Andy Pages and Hernandez. Again, he clutches up. Andy doubled and Freddie, and Enrique brought home Pages. Alex Cora, he's now maybe over-managing in the 11th. I have no idea, but he was going to bring in the lefty horn. He said, go back, and then he leaves in Greg Weisser. He's talking to his 5-man infield. It didn't matter. Walk-off Willie. Will Smith, he wins it for the Dodgers. Moving on, if the Orioles win this game, they'll be the 2nd team in baseball to 60 Ws, and you can't give the Orioles free runs, and there's one free run. Ramon Urias, he took advantage of the extra base runner, so he laces one to center, in scores Colton Cowser and Cedric Mullins. Santander, he drove in their 4th run. Baltimore forced Mad Max out the game before the 4th, and the O's, they enjoyed hitting against the Texas bullpen. Cedric with the solo home run, and before we show another Baltimore tater, Colton Cowser, he showed off the leather in left field. He robbed Adolis of extra bases. The first-time All-Star, the rookie, Jordan Westbrook, he went yard again. He's got 16 taters, 52 RBIs. Grayson Rodriguez, he ended his night as strong as you can possibly get. 3 consecutive strikeouts. He strikes out the side in the 6th inning. He struck out 8 overall, only 2 base hits. He improves to 12-4 after Ryan O'Hearn put the cherry on top with an Oppo Taco. He got on base 5 times, but he only had 1 hit. He had 2 walks, 2 hit-by pitches, and the home run. The Orioles have won 3 games in a row. They're 60-38. The Yankees can also get to 60 victories. They're 59-40 coming into the second game of the series versus the Rays. And yeah, about that 60th W, it's going to have to wait because rookie Curtis Mead, he got the start because Yandy Diaz has a personal matter. I'm just praying that everything is okay for Yandy and his family. Curtis, he doubled in the first run, and this is like seeing Jesus walk down from heaven. That's how rare this swing is. Alex Jackson hit a 3-run home run. He's hitting .091. Like, that's below 100. This home run raised his season OPS plus to 3. Let me repeat that. Single digits. 3. The home run derby apparently found its way to the Bronx. They just kept on hitting him. Isaac Paredes, he pulled another. All 16 of his home runs and all 70-something career home runs have been to left field. Randy, he drove in 3 runs on 2 swings. The first one was a 418-foot solo home run. The second, a 2-run, 412-foot no-doubter. Nestor, he got cooked for 8 hits, 6 runs over 4 1/3. While Taj Bradley, he's basically been the AL version of Paul Skeens. He went 7 shutout on 1 base hit. He throws a little splinker, I think, as what's like a splinker sort of thing. Maybe it's just a hard splitter. I don't know what it is, but it's nasty. He's allowed 5 runs over his last 8 starts. The Yankees bounce into their league worst 92nd double play, which again is the most in Major League Baseball. The Rays win 9-1 now. Prior to that game, former Yankee All-Star Luis Severino said that he would never duck the Yankees because they only have 2 good hitters. He actually said this.
No, we have a group chat that we always talk, the guys who've been through the Yankees and stay with the Yankees, and they talk about me when, I beat the Yankees. Oh, you're afraid of us? But I say, like, I'm not afraid. You guys, right now, you only have 2 good hitters, I can walk those 2 guys and beat. But now, it's always a friendly competition.
So what do we make of that? Do we think that Luis Severino was just poking at his old teammates and just messing with them, or was there some seriousness to that joke? Because there's always some truth to a JK. Speaking of Sevy, he pitched yesterday for the Mets. This run right here was the only run that either team scored. I'm not even joking. That's a cool play from Xavier Edwards to stop it. But again, Luis Severino and the Mets staff, they were as stingy as it gets. Pete, he tried to give away the lead, but Sevy showed him how it's done because after Pete airmailed it, Sevy, he pounced off the mound like a puma. He got the out at second base. Now he's roaring like a puma. 98 on the paint. That's vintage Sevy right there. He's even yelling and screaming. He got it up to 99 miles an hour later. Down goes Sanchez, and down goes Gordon again. 98 upstairs, so that's 7 strikeouts over 6 scoreless. More yelling. This is from Daniel Nunez. He got out of the 8th with a strikeout, and in steps Edwin Diaz. He now has 11 saves, 0 runs allowed since coming back in mid-June. The Mets, they're 50-47. They're going for a playoff spot. I forgot to mention we do have a doubleheader, so we skip to the 6th inning in this Cardinals and Braves game, game number 1. Alec Burleson, he broke the stalemate with an RBI single off of Charlie Morton, and Nolan, he added to it. By the way, it's Nolan Arenado. He blasted away for his 9th home run. I forgot that his power has kind of been zapped this year. He only has 9. Eddie, the Nationals DFA'd Eddie Rosario like 3 or 4 weeks ago. He's back in Atlanta where he saved his career back in 2021. The rest is history once he joined that squad. His 2-run home run ties it. It barely left the yard. Whoever scores next is going to get the W. Austin Riley, he pulled an Arenado against Arenado. He barehands it, and then Olsen's 6'5" frame helps smother the wide throw. This game is going to need extras, where Olsen, he was involved in another defensive play. This time he didn't need any help. He just caught it and stepped on the bag to end that 10th inning. And this, my friends, is where game number 1 is going to end. Ozzie, he skied one to center field. It was way too far to throw out Adam Duvall. Ozzie now has 7 career walk-off base hits. That's crazy. On to game number 2. Both starters got lit up, but in very different ways. Bryce Elder, I just don't think that this guy's very good. No offense, Braves fans, but I have no idea how he got off to the hot start that he had last year as a rookie. He's been in buns since the second half last year. The other Nolan, Mr. Gorman, he launched a hanging slider for his 18th home run in the Cardinals. They kept it moving with Burleson and Contreras. They both found some holes, so it's 5-1 St. Louis in the blink of an eye. Again, I personally don't think that Elder's very good. Marcel, he had his pitchers back. That's his first home run after being in the Derby. That started an avalanche of home runs for both teams. Brendan Donovan, he belted one to right, and that's into the chop house. Sonny Gray, he punched out 10 Redbirds, and by the way, Bryce did have 9 strikeouts. So they both were nasty, but they were also not good. Austin Riley powered up for a 420-foot solo home run, and this was after he had an overturned home run earlier in the game. He got his revenge. Marcel and Eddie, they made it back-to-back home runs. Marcel now has 2 home runs on the day. Same for Eddie because he had 1 in game number 1. All the Braves have to do now is not let the Cardinals score like that. Alec Burleson, his 3 RBI, 3-hit game number 2 seals it. Donovan, he even added to it with an insurance run for Kyle Leahy or Leahy. I don't know how to say his last name, but he went 2 shutout with 1 base hit to end any comeback attempt by the Braves. The Cardinals, they win at 9-5. They're now 51-47 on the season. The Cardinals are still 5 games back of Milwaukee in the Central, and Milwaukee had a tough task of facing Pablo Lopez, who has actually looked like Pablo Lopez lately. Milwaukee did get 1 on a single from rookie Jackson Chourio, but that was it. Freddie Peralta, he was nasty as well. That punch out was his 8th. He carved his way through 6 scoreless as Pablo, he ended up going 7. He got Garrett Mitchell looking, so Freddie and Pablo combined for 13 innings, 1 run, 15 strikeouts, but poor Freddie Peralta, he lost his chance at a W after Peguero's wild pitch. That allowed Castro to get the 3rd, and then Castro snuck in ahead of the throw at home as Diego Castillo just chopped it to the second baseman. We head to extras where Minnesota again clutched up. Milwaukee, they got 1 on basically the exact same play. Throw home, it was just not there in time. But looky here, Yelich, he dropped down a bunt. The Brewers are up by 2. Like I said though, Minnesota also clutched up. Carlos Santana with the pimp job, the no-doubter, a bat spike to boot. But for some reason though, maybe him going off and going crazy just seemed to wake up the Brewers bats because Joey Ortiz, he lofted a sac fly. Everyone advanced. Jackson Chourio, what a day for the rookie. 3 base hits, 2 RBIs. Bryce Terang, he loves hitting with runners on. He singled home 2 more, and Bryce ultimately came around to score on a Contreras knock. So yeah, Carlos Santana had his moment, but again, that little roller coaster game, that awoke the Brewers offense. They go off for a bunch of runs in the final inning, and Minnesota just didn't have anything left in the tank. Lucky for Minnesota, Cleveland got put in a blender and turned into a Guardian smoothie by Dylan Cease, and I'll show Dylan Cease after these highlights because Gavin Williams, he got touched up by Luis Campusano, and then Gavin walked Luis Ariz with the bases loaded, and I mean, this is just over pitching at its finest, trying to aim instead of pitching. Once San Diego got their first run, I mean, it was over because, again, Dylan Cease, he dialed it up for 7 shutout frames. He had 1 base hit, 10 strikeouts. That's now back-to-back starts against the Braves and the Guardians, mind you, where he's gone 6+, shutout, only 1 base hit with double-digit strikeouts. Dylan Cease is showing off why he has all-time nasty stuff in terms of the no-hit strikeout capabilities. The Padres added 4 more runs just for fun as David Peralta hit a towering home run. Campusano drove in his 2nd RBI, and Jake the Rake Cronenworth, he pummeled another home run for the Padres. He was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. That's why we love baseball. 1 swing can change everything. The Padres, they're back over 500. They're 51-50, where the Guardians, they're 500 over the last month. So the Guardians lost, the Twins lost, the Royals did not lose. They're about to go on a run. I can just feel it. And they also have a much easier start to the second half because they're facing the lowly White Sox. Jonathan Cannon, he had a rough first as Salvi and Michael Massey tagged him. Salvi on the RBI single, and he actually scored from first base on the 3-bagger from Michael Massey. That 0 speed was in full effect. You have Hunter Renfroe making it 3-0 on Kansas City's 5th consecutive hit of the inning. And in the next frame, Bobby Witt Jr., he also doubled in a run. Brady Singer, he is so close to having a sub-3 ERA. He also goes 7 shutout with 7 strikeouts. He has a 3 ERA on the dot. So that's the 50th quality start in 90 games for the Royals. So their starters have been locked in all year with Reagans. You have Seth Lugo, Brady Singer. Shout out to those guys. I'm probably forgetting another person, Michael Wacha. Kansas City got a few more runs on some bases though to walk. Renfroe, the free RBI. Garrett Hampson, same thing. The Royals, they've won 2 in a row. They're 6 games back at first, but because the Boston Red Sox got walked off, both the Red Sox and the Royals are retied for the final spot in the American League wildcard race. I mean, who knows? Maybe the Tigers can make some noise and storm back for at least the wildcard spot as well. Yusei Kikuchi, he was frying, folks, though. He got Canna and Jake Rogers to end the 4th inning, so he had 6 strikeouts over 4 shutout, make it 7 strikeouts. Javi, he's just awful. He couldn't check his swing. And Gio Urshela, smell ya. The Tigers were getting manhandled by Yusei Kikuchi, but there's some hope. Rookie Ryan Valade, he singled and he showed that, hey, you can get on base. It is possible. Andy Ibanez, he ripped one down the line, so it's now 1-0 Tigers. Well, it was. Kikuchi was pulled after loading the bases, and Jake Rogers, he connected on a perfect grand slam to blow the doors down. Andy Ibanez, he drove in a 2nd run after that, and Andy, he scores on a wild pitch. So the Tigers end up with 7. Now, I will give some credit to the Jays. They tried to fight back. Springer, he drove in Kiermaier, and Vladdy hit another mammoth moonshot. That's back-to-back games with a 2-run home run and 3 consecutive games with a home run dating back to before the All-Star break. He's got 16 home runs. The Jays, again, they do lose. They tried to make the comeback, but the Tigers have won 4 games in a row thanks to the help of Jake Rogers and his grand slam. They're 5 games back of a wild card spot. So this next game was kind of a slow burn, but man, there was some loud swings. Also, please look at this throw from JT Realmuto. The hose piece to nap Brian Hayes. He's back from injury. Talking about JT Realmuto. He kind of reached for it, still made the rocket throw. Oof, all-star Christopher Sanchez got jinxed big time. The broadcast brought up that he never gives up home runs, and immediately he gave up a home run to Andrew McCutchen. And is this another? Nope, it's a double, a loud double. Nick Gonzalez, he scores all the way from first base. O'Neal Cruz, he gave Luis Ortiz another run, and Ortiz, he has a 2.5 ERA after going 7 scoreless as well. So many guys went 7 scoreless, but we don't have enough time to show him because Chapman and O'Neal Cruz, they broke StatCast. Chapman, he struck this side with 103 after 103. Him doing this at 36 years old is just, it's kind of a cheat code. How is he doing this? This guy's a cheat code as well. O'Neal Cruz took an inside pitch 422 feet the other way, 112 miles an hour, again on an inside pitch. He's got 50 RBIs. Hey, this is cool. The two-timer went to the river. Bryce Harper, he's having a crazy start to the season. 22 home runs, a 173 OPS plus. It's going to be him and Ohtani for the MVP if they keep at this pace. Bednar, he eventually got the final out as the Pirates, they've won, whoa, they won 6 games in a row. On the flip side, Cincy is in danger of losing 3 games in a row, just like the Phillies, who just lost their 3rd game in a row, and this ball's not coming back. Hard-hitting Harold Ramirez, we called him that when he was with the Rays. He's with the Nationals now. That's his first home run in Washington. Ellie said, F that, give me the lead back. He doubles in India, and he ends up at third base after an error. Nothing came of that error, but we do got to skip to Tyler Stevenson. Goodbye, baseball. Over the bullpen for his 11th home run. He's top 3% in squared up swings, and he doesn't chase or strike out very often. He's a pretty talented hitter. Washington, they got within 1 on a CJ Abrams RBI single, and now we're all nutted up again. Lane Thomas, he got sawed off. He got beat, but it worked out. He brought MLB The Show to real life. Their comeback wasn't done. Jacob Young, he wins it. He hits it past the diving Santiago Espinal at third base. Finnegan, he's in again. Kyle Finnegan now has 27 saves, so they get back-to-back W's over the Reds. The Nationals are 5 games back of the wild card with the Reds. They slipped to 4 games back. Surprisingly, the Rockies are also on a little streak. The Nationals, again, have won 2 in a row. The Rockies are trying for their 3rd in a row. After they went up 1-0 on a double play, Doyle, he broke out the sprint speed. It's not all that smart to dive in head first. Like, it's been scientifically proven that it's actually slower to dive in head first than just ask Josh Hamilton. His career was never the same after he broke his thumb diving head first into first base. So it's 2-0 after Doyle's RBI single, and who is that? Who was that? Tyler Fitzgerald just launched a baseball. He took over with a solo home run and an RBI double later in the 5th, so it's 2-2. Well, let me change that to past tense. It was 2-2. It's now 4-2. Ezekiel Tovar, he's got 4 home runs in his last 3 games. The 22-year-old now has 16 home runs and 46 extra base hits. That ball went 455 feet, by the way. But here comes the Giants. Lefty masher Wilmer Flores, he made it a 1-run game after splitting the gap. We head to the 9th inning. Flamethrower Victor Vodnak, he's in there, and he did get his 3rd save of the year as the Rockies get their 3rd W in a row. I promise you guys, I love all teams equally. I did not mean to talk about the Cubs or the Diamondbacks last, but 2 swings won this entire game. Kyle Hendricks was pretty good through 4, but the Chicago native got him. Alec Thomas now has 3 home runs. Remember, he missed a lot of time on the IL. Corbin, please keep on doing this, buddy. A 2-run bomb. He's got 3 home runs and 9 RBIs over his last 4 games. Now, I would not recommend trying to catch a home run with a beer. That is a complete waste of $20-30. Now, speaking of a waste, what a waste of a double. Nico, he was 1,000% going to score, but the Ivy stole an RBI from Michael Busch. Who knows what could have happened after that? Gallen, he clutched up with the final pitch. A perfect PFP. He covers, and he ends the threat. He's eyeing down the umpire, by the way, because Gallen had 6 walks. He was not happy at all with the strike zone. Seawald, he got his 15th save. The Diamondbacks bullpen threw 4 scoreless on just 1 base hit. They stayed tied with the Mets with a .515 winning percentage. And again, they're both tied for the final wild card spot. The rest of the season is going to be so much fun. Well, everyone, that does it for today's recap. If you watched all the way until the end, I just want to say I really, really appreciate you. Thanks for all that you do. Enjoy the rest of your day and check out the webcams.
In the air to Cade, foul grab. Jake
that game. There's that one on the ground. Donovan gets the start at second, and his throw to first.
Line drive out towards center field. Rojas coming on. He dives and he makes
to the right side. Diving stop made by Julian. He'll throw out the runner as mid.
And he hits it to shallow center.
To first, Santana. That's a fair ball. We'll take it to the bag and get.
Runner goes. The pitch, a swing, ground ball up the middle, sliding to his left. Fitzgerald gloves it.